That's the message one public school teacher has in response to Florida's new Pledge of Allegiance law. Starting July 1st, school districts in the state must make it clear that it's within a student's right not to stand for or to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Atheists have launched the campaign to make sure schools are complying. Previously, students were allowed to abstain from saying the pledge with a note from a parent, but teachers would still have to stand. Here to react is Florida public school teacher Debbie Zacharias. Debbie, it's great to see you this morning. So of all the problems besetting America, and there are so many, I'm not even going to begin the list, why do atheists believe saying the Pledge of Allegiance is such a massive problem in this country?
I think that it's a threat to their belief system, but actually the Pledge of Allegiance goes back to a man by the name of Barch hundreds of years ago, where he started it, and then it went on to where Bellamy had the pledge extended to be more applicable to the school children, and they wanted them to understand that they needed to go ahead and honor our country.
Yes.
Then in 1954, the words "under God" were actually put into the pledge, and that was instituted by the DAR and the SAR, which are the Daughters of the Revolution and the Sons of the Revolution. Then the Knights of Columbus put it in to their pledge as well.
Why is this so significant to you as a teacher?
As a teacher, I believe that students need to show respect for our country. There are thousands of men and women who have given their life for these kids to have the freedom that they have now in our great nation.
So we're importing millions upon millions of immigrants from other countries to our country, and they're sending their children to public schools. Isn't it important to teach them what this country stands for, to bring them in to our common American culture, and isn't the pledge part of the way we do that?
By all means. I mean, we need to show respect for our country, and I feel that our freedom as Americans, we have to fight for it now in our own country, which to me is deplorable.
It is. Well, here's a letter from the American Atheists on how they're keeping an eye on schools in Florida. Quote, "We will request a copy of your district student handbook to verify compliance with Florida's law. Teachers in the school have no authority to question the reasons or motives. If students don't wish to participate in the pledge ritual, it is their constitutional right." How do you respond to that?
Well, actually, this has been brought up several times through history as far as it being a constitutional right to stand or not to stand for the pledge and to say or not to say the pledge. But actually, all of that has been null and void because they have proven that it is constitutional to stand for the pledge.
Wait, do you remember, I mean, you've lived in this country a while, do you remember the idea that, you know, people could kind of be left alone to have their own beliefs or do their own thing, and if you're an atheist, you know, I won't bother you, but you don't bother me? When did everybody get so intent, the atheists in this case, in imposing their views on the rest of us? Have you noticed this?
I've noticed a great deal of it, especially within the last 10 years. There's been so much more imposition on our freedom and on our constitutional rights, as well as, you know, our traditions. American traditions now are getting put on the wayside, and the respect for our country very much is on the wayside now.
How decadent is that? How decadent to attack the country that makes this conversation possible in the first place. Debbie, thanks a lot for joining us.